In 2024, a message arrived from deep space. It didn't resemble ordinary data. It was digital delirium, a meaningless string of zeros and ones. NASA scientists froze. Had Voyager 1, our most distant ambassador, finally lost its mind at a distance of 24 billion kilometers? Or was it trying to tell us something we didn't yet understand? Today we'll unravel the story of the greatest escape in human history, an escape beyond the solar system. Ghosts in the void. Imagine absolute silence. Where our heroes are now, there isn't a single atom of air to transmit sound. There is no warmth. From there, the sun looks like a tiny, cold point that barely glows. And in this icy gloom, traveling at 17 kilometers per second, two objects race forward, objects created by humans in an era when computers took up entire rooms and information was stored on magnetic tapes. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. These aren't just machines. They're our ambassadors. They're older than most of you watching this video. They've survived the change of eras, the fall of empires, and the birth of the digital world, all while remaining faithful to their mission. They're the grandpas of space who refuse to die. Picture this. Two spacecraft the size of a car have been flying through the void of space for nearly 48 years. They're older than most viewers of this video. They've outlasted the collapse of the USSR, the emergence of the internet, smartphones, and TikTok. And the craziest part, they're both still in contact. The Voyagers are the grandfathers of the entire space program. Instead of a well-deserved retirement, they got a one-way ticket to the stars. And these cosmic old-timers, in 2023 to 2024, began exhibiting such strange behavior that even the tough engineers at NASA scratched their heads. In 2024, the situation became critical. Voyager 1 started sending messages that resembled digital delirium. NASA engineers, many of them in their 80s, came out of retirement to save their creations. This is a story about how human genius challenged eternity. Pour yourself some tea and get comfortable. We're beginning the longest journey of your life. Did you know that right now, a signal from Voyager 1 takes more than 22 hours to reach Earth? This means that when engineers send a command, they only get a response after 2 days. It's like having a pen-pal correspondence with someone on different continents, except between you lies vacuum and radiation. But what exactly are they transmitting? In 2024, Voyager 1 suddenly began raving, sending meaningless code. Many thought, well, that's it, Grandpa has finally lost his mind. But the reality turned out to be far cooler than any thriller. We'll unravel this mystery a bit later. 24 billion kilometers away, there is nothing. Number air, no sunlight, no sounds. Cold reigns there, close to absolute zero. And in this darkness, at a speed of 60,000 kilometers per hour, rushes a piece of metal created by people who have long since turned to dust. Voyager 1 is the most distant object created by human hands. If space were an ocean, then everything we've explored until now would be merely splashes at the shore. The Voyagers are the only ones who ventured into the open sea. The launch, a great stroke of luck originally. The mission was called the Grand Tour and was supposed to include 5 spacecraft, but the U.S. Congress cut the budget. The engineers got clever. They officially stated they were building probes only for Jupiter and Saturn, the Mariner mission, but secretly built in enough durability for Neptune and Pluto. This was a real technological conspiracy for the benefit of science. The story of the Voyagers didn't begin in 1977, but much earlier. And it didn't start with a rocket, but with mathematics. In 1965, a young NASA intern named Gary Flandreau was doing what any smartphone does in a second today. He was calculating planetary trajectories. But Gary didn't have a supercomputer. He had a pencil, a slide rule, and a lot of free time. And he discovered something incredible. It turned out that in the late 1970s, for gas giants Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune would align in a perfect ladder. This happens once every 176 years. The last time such an opportunity existed was during Napoleon's time. But back then our aviation consisted of hot air balloons and combat roosters. What was the secret of this luck? In space, fuel is gold. To reach Neptune the conventional way, we would have needed a rocket the size of Mount Everest. But Flandreau realized we could use the gravity of planets as free refueling. This maneuver is called a gravity assist. You approach Jupiter, its monstrous gravity grabs your spacecraft, spins it around, and flings it towards Saturn at double the speed. Scientists called this the Grand Tour. It was the chance of a lifetime. If we had missed the 1977 window, the next attempt would only be possible in 2153. I'm not sure YouTube will still exist by then, so it's good we made it in time. Summer 1977. Disco is at its peak of popularity. Star Wars has taken theaters by storm, and NASA is preparing for something incredible. On August 20th, 1977, a Titan Centaur rocket launches from Cape Canaveral. On board is Voyager 2. Yes, you heard that right, they launched the second one first. 2 weeks later, on September 5th, Voyager 1 set out on its journey. Why were they launched at that specific time? It was cosmic insurance. Once every 176 years, the gas giants align in a perfect line. This allowed the use of each planet's gravity as free refueling. Without this maneuver, the journey to Neptune would have taken not 12 years, but 30. August 1977. The whole world is watching the launch. And then the first twist of the story. On August 20th, they launch Voyager 2. But Voyager 1 is still sitting on Earth. Why? Because Voyager 1 was the sprinter. Its trajectory was shorter and faster. It was supposed to overtake its brother and arrive at Jupiter first. And that's exactly what happened. Launched later, Voyager 1 became number one in the race to the giants. But Voyager 2's launch almost ended in a heart attack for the entire team. Right after reaching orbit, the craft started behaving like a moody teenager. Its onboard computer decided something had gone wrong and began to panic. It switched to backup systems and cut off communications. Scientists on Earth listened to silence for several hours. It turned out that the Titan rocket had shaken the craft so violently that the sensors were simply stunned. One of the scientists later recalled, "We built the smartest ship in history, and in its first minute it decided to commit suicide from fear." Scientists on Earth thought the mission was over 5 minutes after launch. Fortunately, the engineers managed to calm down Grandpa, and he flew on. Voyager 2 was launched earlier because its trajectory was longer and slower. It had to visit all four gas giants. Voyager 1 was the sprinter, sent on a shorter arc to overtake its brother and reach Jupiter first. And it did. Construction, nuclear heart, and 70s brains. But here's the first mystery and secret at the same time. The Voyagers officially weren't supposed to fly to Uranus and Neptune. In those years, a crisis was raging in the U.S., and Congress said, "Guys, no grand tours. Too expensive. Here's money for Jupiter and Saturn." And that's it. The scientists from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory JPL nodded their heads, said okay, and then committed a little scientific crime. Look at these spacecraft. They don't have solar panels. Why? Because in Saturn's orbit, the sun shines 100 times weaker than on Earth. There it's just a bright star. They built spacecraft with such a safety margin that they could withstand flight to the distant frontiers. They built into them the ability to be reprogrammed on the fly. Essentially, they deceived the politicians to give humanity Neptune and Uranus. If they hadn't done this, we still wouldn't know what these ice giants look like up close. What are these legends made of? Let's look under the hood. Voyager isn't a shiny ship from Star Wars. Let's look inside. These aren't iPhones. This is brutal 70s technology. Nuclear batteries are TGS. There are no solar panels on board. Instead, there are 3 plutonium-238 generators. The plutonium decays, releases heat, and thermocouples convert it into electricity. Every 88 years, the power drops by half. Right now they're working on the edge. NASA had to shut down almost all the heaters. The probe's electronics are now operating at temperatures of -80 degrees. Imagine your smartphone. In that kind of cold it would die in a second. But the Voyagers live on. It's an aluminum pot with a huge dish on top. Memory. Total memory is about 68 kilobytes. That's less than the size of an icon on your desktop. But with this amount, navigation, scientific instruments, and the communication system all work. Programs were written in assembly language, a language only a few people know today. It was jewelry work, where every byte of memory was a battle. Friends, one photo of your food on Instagram weighs 50 to 100 times more than all the memory of the spacecraft. That revealed the secrets of the universe to us. Processor. Its speed is 81,000 operations per second. A modern smartphone is 7 million times faster. Tape recorders. Yes, inside them are real digital tape recorders with tape. When Voyager takes a photo, it records it on tape, then slowly rewinds it and transmits to Earth. Golden antenna. A huge dish 3.7 meters in diameter. It must always, with perfect accuracy, point at Earth. If it deviates even by half a degree, we'll lose contact forever. To keep the antenna from wandering, the probes use star sensors, orienting by Canopus. It seems wild, but it's precisely this simplicity that saved them. The simpler the mechanism, the harder it is to break with cosmic radiation. Shocking fact, Voyager's computer memory is only 68 kilobytes. For comparison, a photo you take on your phone weighs 100 times more than all the memory of the legendary probe. To survive, engineers programmed them in assembly language, squeezing the maximum from every byte. It's like trying to run a modern game on a calculator. Jupiter encounter with a monster. So, our heroes left the asteroid belt. By the way, contrary to Hollywood movies, the asteroid belt isn't a solid mess of rocks where you need to spin the wheel. It's a desert, where there are millions of kilometers between rocks. The Voyagers flew through it without even sneezing. But ahead loomed Jupiter. And that's where the problems began. Jupiter isn't just a planet, it's a failed star. It has such a powerful magnetic field that it creates a real hell of radiation around the planet. NASA engineers in the 70s realized the Voyager's electronics would simply fry like popcorn in a microwave if they got too close. There was no money for expensive protection. And you know what they did? They went to the store and bought ordinary aluminum foil, well, almost ordinary, which they wrapped around the sensitive cables. When you look at photos of Voyager, know this. Those shiny things are literally tin foil hats that saved a mission worth billions of dollars. And it worked. Although on approach to Jupiter, the radiation sensors were pegging so high that the scientists in mission control sat with white faces, expecting the craft to go silent forever at any moment. Voyager 1 was the first to show us this storm up close. It's not just a spot. It's an anticyclone into which you could stuff to planet Earth's, and there'd still be room for the moon. It's been raging for at least 300 years. The Voyagers saw that inside this hurricane, clouds rotate counterclockwise, and the edges of the spot move at the speed of a racing car. The first stop was Jupiter. Voyager 1 approached it in March 1979. What it saw changed astronomy forever. Before the Voyagers, no one knew that Jupiter also has rings. They're thin, dusty, and almost invisible from Earth. Jupiter's magnetic field is 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. It's a giant particle accelerator. The radiation there is so intense that the electronics should have melted. Engineers at the last minute wrapped critical nodes with aluminum foil, bought literally at the store. This tin foil had saved the probe. Jupiter is a killer. Its radiation belts are millions of times stronger than Earth's. Tell how engineers wrapped the Voyager's cables with kitchen aluminum foil at the last minute to save the electronics. Discoveries that shocked. Aya's volcanoes. Before the Voyagers, it was believed that only Earth was geologically alive. Linda Morabito saw a cloud in an image above Io. It turned out to be a volcanic eruption 300 kilometers high. Jupiter literally chews its moon with gravity, forcing it to melt from within. The biggest shock was the volcanoes on Io. Scientists expected to see a dead icy world, but saw a pizza with active volcanoes erupting sulfur hundreds of kilometers upward. It's the most geologically active object in the solar system. Voyager photographed Europa's icy crust, riddled with cracks. It became clear. Under this ice there is water. Liquid, warm. There could be life there. We're searching for aliens in other galaxies, but they could be swimming under the ice right under our noses. Voyager was the first to hint that under the icy shell of Europa, a global ocean of liquid water might be hiding. Where there's water, there could be life. Can you imagine? The mystery of life could be solved thanks to images taken 45 years ago. During the flyby of Jupiter in 1979, the Voyagers detected powerful bursts of radio emissions that scientists called S-bursts. The source of these signals remains a subject of debate to this day. Some signals were so structured that in those years it triggered a wave of rumors about transmissions from the depths of the gas giant. It's now believed to be the result of the interaction between the Moon Io and Jupiter's magnetic field. But the exact mechanism for forming such clean radio signals remains a mystery. Saturn and the great choice after Jupiter, the brothers' trajectories diverged. In 1980, the probes reached Saturn. The rings turned out not to be disks, but billions of chunks of ice. Voyager photographed dark spots in the rings that moved contrary to the laws of mechanics. It turned out static electricity was lifting the dust. The rings literally electrify. Scientists wanted so badly to study Titan, a moon with an atmosphere, that they directed Voyager 1 straight toward it. Because of this, Titan's gravity threw the probe upward from the plane of the planets. Voyager 1 forever left the Grand Tour to become the first interstellar scout. Titan turned out to be a world where it rains methane and rivers of liquid gas flow. Voyager 1 had to carry out the most important mission studying Titan. It's the only moon with a dense atmosphere. Scientists wanted so badly to peer under its clouds that they sacrificed Voyager 1's further flight to other planets. Titan turned out to be a world with methane lakes and rivers. In 1980, Voyager 1 reached Saturn. If you think Saturn's rings are smooth tracks like on a record, the Voyagers will disappoint you. They're billions of chunks of ice from the size of a speck of dust to the size of a skyscraper. The mystery of the spokes in the rings. Voyager photographed strange dark spokes that appeared and disappeared in the rings, as if an invisible finger was drawing them. Scientists debated for decades. It turned out this is dust that rises above the rings due to static electricity. Saturn literally electrifies its decorations. The psychology of Titan. Titan is Saturn's largest moon. Scientists wanted to study it so badly that they sacrificed Voyager 1. To get closer to Titan, the craft had to change its trajectory so that it could no longer fly to other planets. Why is Titan so important? It has an atmosphere, dense nitrogen, like on early Earth. Voyager couldn't look under the clouds, it didn't have an infrared camera, but it felt the atmosphere with radio waves. We learned that it rains methane there. Imagine, you're standing on the shore of a sea, but it's not water, it's liquid lighter fluid. And it's so cold there, 180 see that ice is stronger than steel. Due to low gravity and a dense atmosphere on Titan, a human could fly just by attaching wings to their arms. But the price for this knowledge was high after this. Voyager 1 forever went upward from the plane of the planets into emptiness. Moon Io, if Jupiter is the king, then its moon Io is the court jester who's constantly on fire. Before the Voyagers, everyone thought that planet moons were boring icy balls, like our moon. But when the first images of Io came in, people at NASA thought the camera's color balance was off. The moon was bright yellow, orange, and red. Facts that blow your mind. Volcanic apocalypse. Linda Morabito, a navigation engineer, noticed a strange mushroom above Io's horizon in one of the images. It turned out this is an active volcano. This was the first discovery of active volcanism outside Earth. Gravitational massage. Why is Io so hot? It's literally needed by Jupiter and neighboring moons. Tidal forces stretch and compress the rock like putty. From this friction, the moon's interior melts. Electric cannon. Io is a giant generator. A current of 5 million amperes flows between Jupiter and Io. That's thousands of times more than all the lightning on Earth simultaneously. Voyager flew through this invisible stream, and it's a miracle its brains didn't burn out. Uranus and Neptune, the second solitude. Here our story becomes a bit sad. Voyager 1 went into free flight upward from the plane of the planets. While the first went into interstellar space, the second continued its grand tour. It still had years to fly before Uranus. By the time Voyager 2 reached Uranus in 1986, the team of engineers on Earth had already aged. The children of employees who started the project had themselves become engineers. The connection became so weak that NASA had to combine several giant antennas into one network. To hear the craft's whisper, the signal power was billions of times less than the battery in your wristwatch. Uranus seemed boring at first glance, just a smooth blue ball. But this was a trap. Uranus is the only planet that lies on its side. Voyager 2 discovered that Uranus's magnetic field is offset from the center. It rolls along its orbit like a ball. Because of this, its magnetic poles are where ordinary planets have their equator. Physicists still scratch their heads. How did this happen? Most likely, something the size of Earth once crashed into it and simply knocked the planet over. Neptune, the farthest point. 1989. Here Voyager 2 saw winds blowing at 2,100 kilometers per hour. That's supersonic. Where does a planet that receives almost no heat from the sun get such energy for storms? This is a mystery we still don't have an answer to. And it also discovered geysers on the moon Triton that erupt liquid nitrogen. Neptune is a distant, cold, and mysterious world. A true ice giant located at the very edge of our solar system. Due to the enormous distance from the Sun, about 4.5 billion kilometers, time on Neptune flows differently. A year on Neptune lasts approximately 165 Earth years. Since its discovery in 1846, the planet has completed only one full orbit around the Sun. A day. Short, about 16 hours. The golden record message in a bottle. On the side of each craft is mounted a golden disc. This is our message to them. Mystery for viewers. On the record there's a map of pulsars that shows the way to Earth. Many scientists, including Stephen Hawking, considered this dangerous. Why are we showing aggressive aliens where to find us? The disc contains sounds from Earth. Thunder, bird songs, laughter, a baby's cry, and even a recording of the brain waves of Andromeda, Carl Sagan's wife, who was in love. She recorded her brain waves for the record. She had just fallen in love with Carl. Now this love is literally flying between the stars in the form of electrical signals from the brain. Interesting fact, the music on the disc includes Bach, Mozart, and Chuck Berry. They say that when Carl Sagan was asked why there's no Beatles music on the disc, he replied, They're too popular on Earth. Let the aliens wait a bit. Actually, copyright issues arose. Let's return to the golden record. Everyone knows about it, but few have heard about the forbidden content. They wanted to put a photograph of nude man and woman on the record to show our anatomy, but NASA got scared. In the 70s, this was considered spreading erotica in space. As a result, instead of photos, they sent aliens, outline drawings. Imagine the aliens' confusion. Are they made of sticks and lines? The mystery of the 116th image. The disk has 116 encoded images. One of them is a DNA diagram, but there was a tiny error in the calculations. If aliens try to recreate us from this diagram, they'll get, well, let's say, a very strange creature. We sent into the universe a corrupted instruction manual for assembling a human. Musical scandal. Why isn't Elvis Presley on the disc? Carl Sagan really wanted to include him, but advisors said, Elvis is too temporal, but Bach that's eternal. As a result, there are 3 Bach compositions on the disc. The aliens will probably decide that Bach was our supreme deity or the king of the planet. Did you know that the golden record isn't just Bach's music and the sounds of kisses? It has encoded on it the coordinates of Earth relative to 14 pulsars. Essentially, we sent a map of our home into space, but there was also strict censorship. Carl Sagan wanted to include photographs of nude people, a man and a woman on the record, so that aliens would understand our biology. But NASA got cold feet at the last moment and banned it, deeming it indecent. So if aliens find Voyager, they'll see our mountains, cars, and food, but won't have the slightest idea what we look like without clothes. On the cover of the golden record is etched a diagram that looks like a bunch of scribbles, but within it is encoded a brilliant intelligence test. What's the secret? To help aliens understand how to play the sound, scientists drew a video signal as a waveform. But how do you explain to them what a second is? The unit of time used is the transition period of a hydrogen atom, the most abundant element in the universe. It's a kind of interstellar password. If a civilization doesn't know hydrogen physics, they won't be able to hear us. We sent a message to those who are equal to us in intelligence, or who surpass us. Few people think about exactly how aliens are supposed to read the golden record. Included with the disc is a needle, but it's not an ordinary record player needle. To ensure the needle doesn't deteriorate over billions of years, it's made with a coating of ultra-durable material. But the most interesting part on the record's case is engraved a diagram, explaining at what speed the disc needs to be rotated. The reference clock used is the transition period of a hydrogen atom. If the aliens know physics, and they must, in order to catch the probe, they'll understand that the disc needs to be rotated at a speed of 1 revolution every 3.6 seconds. Pale blue dot. February 14, 1990. Voyager 1 had completed all its tasks. It was flying into emptiness. On this day, Voyager 1 took a final frame that everyone should see. Carl Sagan literally begged NASA to turn the camera around. Engineers feared the sun would burn out the optics, but the risk paid off. Actually, the engineers were against it. The cameras were old, turning them could damage them, but Sagan insisted. The result was a photo where Earth is a tiny dot the size of 0.12 pixels. It fell into a ray of sunlight. It was a lens flare, and it seems to float in radiance. This photo changed the world. Sagan wrote about it. Look at that dot. That's here. That's home. On this tiny speck of dust, lost in infinite space, all the great events, all wars, and all discoveries have occurred. If this doesn't make you feel part of something enormous, then I don't know what will. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. All wars, all great dictators, all your fears and joys on this tiny pixel. This photo became the most important lesson in humility in the history of humanity. The Boundary and the 2020 full cyber detective story, April 22, 2010. Voyager 2 is 15 billion kilometers from Earth. Everything is going normally. Instruments are transmitting data about radiation and a magnetic field. And suddenly, the telemetry turns into a linguist's nightmare. Instead of the usual data packets, a stream of information starts arriving on Earth that looks structured but completely alien. It wasn't random interference or white noise. It was a data stream where every few bytes, a certain logical sequence repeated. That wasn't in Earth code. And in 2010, Voyager 2 suddenly started sending data in an unknown language. It was digital psychosis at a distance of 15 billion kilometers. The stream of zeros and ones was structured, but didn't conform to NASA logic. NASA's official version states, one bit in the onboard computer's memory switched from 0 to 1 due to a cosmic ray hit. But here's the mystery that's often hushed up. This single bit didn't just change a digit in calculations. It rewrote the communication protocol. It was digital psychosis at a distance of 15 billion kilometers. The stream of zeros and ones was structured, but didn't conform to NASA logic. NASA anomaly specialist Kevin Baines then dropped a phrase that spread across the net. Someone or something changed the probe's communication system. It seemed as if the craft hadn't broken down, but had been intercepted and used as a transmitter for something else. Engineers spent 3 weeks trying to send a reboot command. For 3 weeks, Voyager to talk to us in a language we still haven't deciphered. What was it? A test of our communication system by someone from outside? Or a warning? Beyond here closed territory. In 2012, Voyager 1 entered interstellar space. It was the first human creation to touch the stars. But now it's dying. In November 2023, Voyager 1 almost died. It stopped sending data. It seemed to have gone mad. It was sending repetitive noise. Engineers spent months decrypting the digital noise. They discovered that one memory chip had burned out. To save it, NASA engineers, now in their 70s and 80s, came out of retirement and found documentation from 50 years ago. In April 2024, they accomplished the impossible. They were able to remotely transfer the damaged code to another part of memory. Imagine, you're repairing a computer that's 24 billion kilometers away from you. Using technology from the era of cassette tape recorders, this was brain surgery at a distance. And it worked. On May 19, 2024, it came back to life and began transmitting scientific data again. This is a miracle of engineering. The secret of the rescue. You know how they figured out which chip had burned out. They couldn't diagnose it directly. They sent different commands and watched which letters the probe started stuttering on. It was a linguistic forensic analysis of machine code. When they transferred the code to another location in memory, it was comparable to a brain transplant in open space using chopsticks. The mystery of the humming cosmos hiss of the void. When Voyager 1 finally broke through into interstellar space, it discovered a second anomaly that scientists still can't explain. This is the interstellar hum. What is it really? Astronomers expected absolute, dead silence outside our system, but plasma wave sensors detected a constant, monotonous low-frequency sound. This hum isn't chaotic. It vibrates at a narrow frequency. If you translate it into sound, it resembles the low hum of a transformer station or the meditative sound of. Why does plasma in the void vibrate so stably? One of the boldest theories states that this isn't just noise, but the energetic background of the galaxy itself, a kind of pulse of the Milky Way. But there are those who believe that Voyager has stumbled upon an artificial broadcasting network that permeates space, and we simply don't yet understand how to tune the receiver. Another anomaly that made NASA reconsider the probe's lifespan. is the sudden discovery of magnetic bubbles at the edge of the system. What's the secret? According to models, the Sun's magnetic field should have smoothly merged with the interstellar field, but the Voyagers saw real foam there. Giant magnetic bubbles, 160 million kilometers wide. That's the distance from Earth to the Sun. What's scary about this? These bubbles work like giant radiation traps. They don't let the Sun's energy out and don't let interstellar radiation in. We've discovered that our solar system isn't just a ball in the void. It's a fortress with multi-layered armor, and the Voyagers are the only ones who've broken through this armor and survived. Scientists still debate, is this foam a natural phenomenon or did someone deliberately isolate our system from the rest of the galaxy, creating a quarantine zone? What they hid from us. Secrets and anomalies of the Voyagers 1. Deceleration anomaly. The invisible hand. One of the strangest secrets of the mission is the so-called Pioneer anomaly, which also affected the Voyagers. At some point, scientists noticed that the spacecraft were slowing down faster than they should according to the laws of physics. At NASA they couldn't understand for a long time either it's an error in Einstein's equations, or something is not letting us out of the solar system. There was even talk of the existence of dark matter right under our noses. After decades, they admitted that it's thermal recoil from the nuclear batteries. But there's still a group of physicists convinced gravity works differently at the edge of the system. This is the perfect moment to make viewers doubt official science. 2. Secret codes and the hacking of Voyager 2. In 2010, something frightening happened with Voyager 2. At a distance of 15 billion kilometers, it suddenly began transmitting data in a language that no Earth supercomputer could decipher. Conspiracy theory. Ufologists trumpeted. The probe was intercepted and reprogrammed by aliens. There was a failure of one memory bit, but unusually, this bit changed the command structure, as if someone was deliberately trying to hide the telemetry. Engineers had to reboot the craft's brain blind. 3. Wall of fire barrier. When the Voyagers were entering interstellar space, they discovered something no one expected: a giant wall of hot plasma. The temperature there reaches 3,050,000 degrees Celsius. What's unusual? How did aluminum spacecraft not melt? This is a paradox. The plasma there is very hot, but very rarefied, so it doesn't transfer heat to the probe. But the very fact that our system is surrounded by a cocoon of fire was for a long time not widely publicized, so as not to frighten the public about the complexity of interstellar flights. 4. Unexplained hum of the void. Voyager 1 detected a hum of interstellar space. It's a constant vibration of plasma. Mystery. Scientists call this the music of the stars, but this hum sounds too rhythmic for chaotic space. There's a hypothesis that these are echoes of signals from other civilizations or pulsars that we can't yet decipher. This is the real white noise of the universe that the Voyagers are listening to right now. 5. What's not on the golden record? We talked about what's there, but let's talk about what was hidden. Wars and diseases. There's not a single mention on the record of wars, concentration camps, nuclear explosions, or diseases. We sent aliens a photoshopped version of humanity. We deceived the universe, presenting ourselves as perfect beings. Religion. NASA deliberately excluded religious symbols and texts so as not to cause a cosmic conflict and not give preference to one faith. We appeared to aliens as a purely biological and technical species. 6. Strange sounds of Saturn. The Voyagers recorded radio emissions from Saturn's rings. If you translate them into the audio range, they sound like eerie screams or the work of a giant machine. These recordings were kept in archives for a long time because they sound too artificial and frightening for the average person. Eternal Wanderers. The latest data from both spacecraft confirm something strange. At the edge of our system, the density of space is increasing. This contradicts logic. The farther from the Sun, the fewer particles there should be. But the Voyagers are detecting an increase in electron concentration. Scientists have put forward a hypothesis. We're entering a region of an interstellar cloud that's denser than the one we've been in for the last millions of years. We're literally driving into a thicker cosmic fog. What awaits them next? By 2030, their nuclear hearts will finally cool down. Contact with them will be severed. But they won't stop. In 40,000 years, Voyager 1 will fly past the star AC plus 793888 in the constellation Camelopardalis. They'll circle the Milky Way for billions of years. Perhaps humanity itself will have already disappeared. The sun will expand and swallow Earth. But these two small spacecraft will still be carrying our voices, our music, and the memory that we once lived, loved, and reached for the stars. Eternity. What will remain when we're gone? Let's look into the future. In 1 billion years, the sun will begin to expand. Life on Earth will become impossible. The oceans will boil away, mountains will turn to sand. Humanity by that time will either have disappeared or become something completely different. But somewhere out there, in the depths of the Milky Way, two spacecraft will still be flying. Their gold plating on the records will have tarnished slightly from micrometeorite impacts, but the information will remain. The secret of immortality. Voyager metal doesn't rust in vacuum. They can fly for billions of years. This means the Voyagers are the most durable monuments of our civilization. Even if we destroy ourselves, a record of our laughter, whale songs, and box music will remain in the universe. Perhaps we're the only beings who created music and knew how to dream. And the Voyagers are the only proof that we existed. I wonder if in 5 billion years, some highly developed civilization catches a Voyager. They'll see our coordinates. They'll fly to the solar system, and they're only an expanded sun and empty rock. And they'll think, wow, those guys from 1977 were pretty darn optimistic if they hoped we'd find them. Write in the comments what you would add to the record today. And don't forget to subscribe and like, there's much more interesting content ahead.